Hello, beautiful people, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of The Couch, your space for transparent communication and therapeutic revelation. I am Carrington Brown, your relationship expert, and on today's episode, what we're going to be discussing are the 5 qualities of a strong relationship. If you're subscribed to my channel, then one of the things that you are looking to get out of this information I provide is information on how to do relationships right, do them healthy, and do them in a strong, progressive, and successful way. And so today we're going to be talking about, once again, the 5 qualities of a strong relationship. And so there are 5 qualities primarily that make up a strong relationship, and they all start with a C, right? So let's go through the list. So quality number 1 is communication. Number 2 is compromise. 3 is contact. 4 is connection. And 5 is commitment. So let's start with communication. Anytime you talk to somebody about relationships, they always say communication is key. Communication is key. Well, understand this, they are 100% right. If you desire to be a part of a strong, healthy, thriving relationship, you have to be on point with communication. And communication is not about just what you say, but it's also about how you say what you say, when you say what you say, and the way that you deliver what you say, right? So when we look at strong relationships, a couple of things that they have in place from a communication perspective that I would say unsuccessful relationships have is that they are able to handle conflict in a healthy way, right? Every relationship, whether it's between you and your significant other or you, friends and family members, conflict is going to arise. But the key to allowing conflict to be a benefit to your relationship is by you being able to handle it correctly. And the way that you handle it correctly is by communicating from a place not of, hey, I'm protecting myself or hey, I'm attacking you, but more so from a place and perspective of, hey, let me get understanding about what you're saying. Okay, now let me clearly express myself with no feelings and emotions tied so that you don't feel like I'm attacking you so that we can get to the other side of this, right? Strong relationships are built on great communication, and handling conflict is one of those areas. Another one of those areas is this. When we look at communication, we have to understand that in order for both parties to be safe in a relationship or feel safe in a relationship, communication has to be accepted and it has to be, I would say, received from a place of respect. One of the primary comments or concerns or issues that are expressed about relationships or women complain about men not being transparent, not being naked. And so in order for a man to be transparent and comfortable and confident being transparent in a relationship, an environment of clear and comfortable, safe communication has to be created. And you do that by affirming your man that, hey, I'm here for you. I'm on your team. I support you. I advocate for you. And I want to know how you feel so we can work through these problems and situations together, right? So in order for you to have a strong, healthy, thriving relationship, you got to be able to thrive in communication. Quality number 2 is compromise. Now, we all know that in relationships, you have to compromise. You're not going to get everything you want, so you have to be able to bend a little bit, right? And so in order for you to thrive in a relationship, you have to be willing to compromise. But in order for you to be comfortable and confident compromising, you have to have a producer mindset. Now, a producer mindset says, what can I do for you? The challenge with a lot of relationships is people go into it with a consumer mindset. What can you do for me? What will I get out of this? If you switch your perspective to a producer mindset from a consumer mindset, what's going to happen is you will realize that, hey, there is a higher level of agreeableness in my relationship. There is a higher level of joy and happiness in my relationship. But then along with that, the foundation of our relationship is a lot stronger simply because we are both able to compromise. But it's simply because we both adopted a producer mindset and we're not just thinking about us. We're thinking about the happiness of the other person as well. Quality number 3 is contact. Now, when I talk about contact, I ain't talking about the context I got in right now or even the context of your phone. I'm talking about physical contact. Individuals in strong relationships physically touch each other, right? Now, if you're watching this, you probably ain't married, right? Which means that you need to be intentional about sexual abstinence. But when we look at other ways of physically touching each other, right? Holding hands, rubbing shoulders, just hugging in general. High levels of physical contact with your spouse brings peace, brings ease, brings comfort, brings confidence. Right now, I'm preparing for you, my group coaching program, where I'm preparing trailblazers to be ready to thrive in relationships. The book that we're going through right now is called Attached. And one of the examples that I provided in the book was, it talked about how if somebody was going in to get their blood pressure checked, if they were by themselves, in comparison to if they were with a stranger, and in comparison to if they were with their spouse or significant other, what they realized is that when they looked at the readings from this individual who was actually with their spouse in comparison to the other situations, the blood pressure was normal. It was regular. But when the blood pressure was being checked, when it was a stranger or nobody, it was super duper high. Why? Because your spouse brings you comfort. Your significant other brings you comfort. But in order for that to happen, we have to support each other. But support looks like and feels like in certain situations, touch, right? Let me hold your hand. Let me rub your shoulders. Can I have a hug, right? So healthy relationships, beautiful people, have a high level and amount of physical contact. Quality number 4 is connection. So when we talk about connection, I'm primarily talking about connection from an intimacy perspective. In order for us to really grow and thrive in a relationship, we have to have a high level of intimacy. We have to grow to be in one with each other. We have to trust each other. We have to be able to lean on each other. And so in order for us to have the connection that we need, we have to be intentional about investing time with each other, scheduling quality time with each other, going on date nights, having transparent and open, honest communication, right? Physically having that contact, and just do whatever you need to do to, I would say, support and advocate and aid whatever your love language is, so that in this relationship, you guys are continually and consistently growing together rather than apart, right? So in order for you to have a thriving relationship, you gotta have that connection factor, that intimacy piece. And last but not least is commitment. Listen, this is the foundation. This is everything. In order for a relationship to be strong, in order for it to be healthy, in order for it to be thriving, there has to be a high level of commitment on both sides, right? And not just committed to each other as in, I'm your girlfriend, you my boyfriend, you my boyfriend, you my girlfriend, you my fiance, you my... Not even just that matter, but also saying, hey, as a human being, I'm committed to your growth. I'm committed to your development. I'm committed to your progression. But as I spoke about a second ago, in order for you to have a perspective and mindset like that, you have to go from a producer mindset away from a consumer mindset. And by you choosing to commit, by you choosing to go all in, it brings safety and security to your spouse's significant other. And so those are two primary qualities that have to be a part of a relationship, that safety and that security. And by you doing that, by you choosing to commit, by you choosing to go all in, by you choosing to allow that significant other to have access, by you choosing to say, hey, I know we're dating, or we talking and there's no real 100% titles in this thing, right? I'm going to cut off everybody else because I'm intentional about you. I'm very interested in you, and I desire for this to go to the next level. The more intentional and intense you are about the level of commitment that you have, the more comfort, safety, and strength your relationship would have. So beautiful people, once again, the 5 qualities that make up a strong relationship are communication, compromise, contact, connection, and commitment. If you desire a strong relationship, you got to take these 5 qualities and apply them to your relationship with somebody else. But before that, you first got to apply those things to your relationship with God and your relationship with yourself. So beautiful people, understand you deserve to have a healthy and thriving relationship. But in order for that to happen, we have to take these 5 qualities and actually be intentional about growing in these. But then along with that, being intentional about preparing ourselves for the relationship that we actually desire to be a part of. A second ago, I brought up Prepare For You, which is my group coaching program, where I'm working on a weekly basis, sometimes multiple times a week, with a group of trailblazers that are intentional about growing themselves and preparing themselves for the relationship of their dreams. And we're pursuing this relationship from a whole person perspective, not just focusing on the tiny tools that helps you in the dating phase, but also dealing with forgiveness, also dealing with self-love and identity. Why? Because until you good with yourself, you can't be good with nobody else. So if you are interested in checking out Prepare For You and joining the family, right, as we call it, click the link in the description box below, and we would love to have you join us. If we're not already connected on social media, I am at TheCarringtonBrown on all social media platforms. Thank you so much again for tuning in to today's episode of The Couch. I love y'all. Have a phenomenal week, and I will talk to y'all next week. Peace out, y'all.